people, this is Callum's first podcast, really. Right, we're going to be doing survival tips. We're doing sea, jungle, desert, and Arctic survival. What we're going to do first is desert. Here's a real treat for you. What we're going to be talking about is water distillation, shelter, and possible ways to give everyone else attention that you are there. So we're going to start off with seawater distillation because you're going to need to stay hydrated to survive. Right, let's get started. Put seawater into a big bowl and place a small bowl on the water. Make sure the seawater is not in a small bowl. Now, put your plastic on top and secure it. Place a rock in the middle and place it into the sun and wait. After a few minutes or hour, check the small basin and there's your new water source. See, I missed some details. You're going to need plastic, a few bowls, and some rocks. Right, so here's the plan. For the big basin, you fill that with seawater. You place the small basin in the middle of the water. Do not let any get inside of that small basin because you're going to need it clean. Now, if you have a type of cling film or plastic carrier bag, that is good. Place that over the top. Make sure it's secure on the big basin. Like get some tape or bind it with some sort of leaf if you're skilled. And then place a rock in the middle of the plastic. And then wait. And then hopefully when the condensation comes up, it'll go into that dip that the rock creates on top of the plastic. That's hovered right over the small basin. All the clean water will go into that. There's your clean water source. What we're going to be talking about next is shelter. What you're really going to need for this. If you've got some fancy degree in woodwork, then good for you. If you're not, here's a little tip. Get branches. Or, if you're in that island, try your best to find anything that can be suitable for shelter. Do your best to look around, like overhangs, maybe not small caves, because you never know what's in there really, unless you scout it out when you get more supplies. What you gotta look for: overhangs, ditches, and you can make all sorts. Get your branches. If you find an overhang, try and find an overhang because I prefer this. Get your branches, put them in a V shape upward. Right, now get a long branch, put it on top of the V shape, hopefully try and bind it to some sort of thing. If you're lucky enough to land or find yourself on a desert island with super glue, lucky for you. If you're not, find out how to bind things. Do the same for the other side, get a V shape and put that and attach it together. Alright, now, so there's your basic swing set shape for your tent. You're going to need something to cover that so you're shielded from the wind, hopefully. And maybe animals just don't have food that will attract them. And the sun. What you're going to preferably want is leaves. With leaves, they're pretty easy to find really because you're in a survival island. So if you're lucky enough, you'll find trees. Take the leaves off of the branches. Or if it's on a bush, perhaps use that. Cover it or bind it together and then put that onto your shelter. Make sure it sticks together and, well, you've got your tent. So you'll just be fine there and, well, you'll live for then. What we're going to talk about next is jungle survival. You see, with jungle survival, it's kind of hard really. You're going to have to find resources, same with the desert island, but a little bit easier. And that'll just be awesome. So, in a jungle, you're going to find animals. Deadly animals and easy animals. Or bugs. May sound revolting, but you can eat bugs to survive. They provide you with nutrients that you need. They provide you with moisture. Yep, sounds crazy, but yep. Eat it, you get nutrition and moisture. So stay clear of poisonous bugs that you eat and eat the good ones, you'll be fine. Stay away from snakes. I think you can eat some snakes, well, only in a survival situation really. And it's kinda hard really everywhere else in the jungle. preferably you're going to want to make the same type of shelter as I mentioned in the survival island thing. Right, you're going to want to make shelters, find food, and seeing as there's more wood, you're going to find it easier to make weapons and tools. What you're really going to want is something to stave off those nasty creatures that come through the night and the day. So, get a stick, find a rock. If you cannot sharpen that stick, try and bind it to the rock. If the stick is big enough and you have enough strength and the rock is thin and strong enough, you can put it through that wood and it will hopefully hold in place with some binding. Then you can use that either as a, let's say, sword, knife. Make a shovel perhaps, if you're really good. Like, get a nice flat stone, shape it and stuff. That'll take ages, but yeah, pays off. An axe maybe, or anything that could be of use. Maybe even a pickaxe. Not a big pickaxe, but like a little pickaxe, like a few stones, really hard, whack into the side of things like fruit, really hard fruit, whack into the side of it. Makes it easier. So that's really jungle survival then. Alright, I'm gonna take a break and I'll be back. See you in a breather. Okay, so this is the conclusion of my survival tips. It's been a nice time recording, but I've got to go. Now remember, on desert islands, jungle or Arctic, you cannot panic. Panicking will make you stressed, make you angry, and possibly take your life. So remember, heat is bad. Water is good. Shelter is good. Sun bad. Unless you want warmth. So always be wary of bad things. During these desert survival tips, jungle survival tips, all these tips shall help you. I guess the same goes for desert, jungle, and different types. These all can be used together. Except for ocean, really, because, well, if you can find something to make a raft out of, good. Then you can fish if you have sticks. Just really along the lines of that. So I'm just going to finish up by saying, don't panic, you'll live. Well, you should anyway. So don't panic, and help will be arriving soon.